Hi, Rosie. I'm sorry that life feels heavy right now. I hope that some breathing and mudra work can help you feel more centered and grounded in your being. So I'm going to share a couple breaths with you. One is called Samavata, and Samavata means same air. So basically you just want to breathe in and breathe out for the same count, and that just brings balance to our breath, so it helps us feel more centered and grounded. And for that breath, we'll do Hakini Mudra, and Hakini Mudra is the mudra of memory. So what you do is you take your hands into an orb like this with all your fingers touching, and then you can hold it wherever you like. I like to either, depending on how long I'm gonna do it, sometimes I'll hold it at my third eye, sometimes my crown, sometimes my solar plexus, or I'll just rest it in my lap. I've been focusing a lot on my solar plexus and building my self-confidence, so I'm gonna hold it here while I show you. And so what you want to do is you just want to count. You can pick, I normally do 4 to 6 count, and like I said, just the same in, the same out. So we'll breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want to do 4 more rounds on your own. Okay. You can also add an affirmation to that, and a really simple one is just I am inhaling, I am exhaling. And when you do that, it just kind of brings you back into focus so that you're really in the present moment and not feeling everything that's going on around you, or just feeling your strength through everything that's going on around you. So you can just, I am inhaling, I am exhaling. I am inhaling. I am exhaling. And I normally just do it to myself in my head, but you can do whatever works for you. Another great mudra that I've been working with now, I'm not sure of the Sanskrit name, I don't have it in my notes, but it is the the mudra of unshakable faith. And I really love this one. So you take your hands and lace your fingers together like this, and then you just place it on your chest. And you just want to do it loosely, like you don't want, I find that when I'm stressed, I'll kind of like tense up my hands, but you really want to do it loosely. And it's also really grounding because you can feel yourself breathe in and out. So I feel that it really helps me just feel my breath, feel my center. And for this one, the breath I've been working with is called Sushumna breath. So the Sushumna is the channel that runs through our chakras. And if you imagine it, it's kind of in front of the spinal column. So you can assign it a light or bubbles or a color or something to help you visualize. I know you're very good at visualizing, but to help you visualize the breath moving up and down. So let's see, let's start with that one. So if you take your mudra, put it against your chest loosely. And then when you breathe in, you want to start down at the bottom of your spinal column, right to the front of it, and just feel the breath go up like a wave, rising up and then going to the top of your crown. And then when it reaches the top of your crown, feel it wash down your inner channel as you exhale, like a wave, or like a waterfall, or a wave too. So let's see with that one. If you inhale up along the Sushumna channel, and then exhale down. Inhale. And exhale. If you want to do 4 rounds on your own, when you feel ready, you can release the breath, release the mudra. I love that one because it kind of feels like a check-in with all of my chakras. And you know, our breath is really like in your yoga practice or in your daily life, like it really is just such a good way to check in and see how we're feeling. And when our chest feels tight or it feels hard to breathe, like for me, it's always a reminder to just slow down and breathe for a minute. So that's a really good one. And then the other thing that's so great, my favorite, I know Kayla loves this one too, is child's pose. So child's pose, you want to bring the 2 big toes to touch and the knees wide on the mat. You can also do knees together if you like that. I feel like in our family, there's a lot in our hips, so I really prefer the knees wide. And then you just want to stretch out with your arms forward and then face down on the mat. And a good one to kind of like get really deep into this pose is to take your fingers up like tents on your mat. I hope you can see. And then really like push your booty back onto your heels and then stretch forward. And when you do that, it just really helps it open up through the shoulders, the lower back, the hips. You know, my lower back is always tight, and that is just, that's one of my favorites. Another good one to get into the hips, but it can be really, really intense, is I like to have a blanket for this one up at the front of my mat. So if you go into downward facing dog, so plant the hands, knees on the mat, and then step back into your toes, go into downward facing dog. And then if you lift your right leg high and then bring it under you. So kind of, mine's not parallel, but they say like your shin is parallel to the front of your mat. And then you can stretch your left leg back. And you can either stay like this. Again, this is a good one to get into your hips, which is where we hold our emotions. Or I like to fold down over my legs. So that's what I like the blanket for, is so I can lay forward. Now, this one can get pretty intense pretty quickly, depending on how tight your hips are. So I wouldn't stay there more than like a minute or two, or, you know, always listen to your body. If it starts to feel really tight, just come out of it. So, and you can come out either the same way I went in, like by tucking the toes, lift the knee, and then take that leg back again. Or what's also much easier is if you just take this left leg and kind of roll onto your right hip and pull it around. Another way to do that one is you can do sleeping swan if you don't like laying forward like that. So for sleeping swan, you have this right leg forward, and then take this left leg kind of so it's like at a 90-degree angle behind you, so your knee is in the bottom of your right foot, and then you can just lay down over that leg. And that can be a little bit more accessible sometimes, but it'll get you the same benefits of getting in those hips. So then if you wanted to get the other side, so you can come back into your hands and knees, up into downward facing dog. Lift that left leg and then bring it in. Again, parallel to the front edge of your mat. You can see the angle that my leg is at here. Stretch. I like to pull that long leg back, and then fold down over your leg if you like, or stay up. Again, that one can be really intense. And then sleeping swan would be the same. You'd roll onto that left hip, pull that right leg in. So, sorry, I think you can kind of see. I need to move my camera down. And then you could lay over this left leg there and get the same benefit. And then, you know, the other one that you can do, like I said, is Shavasana. And Shavasana corpse pose is just, it's really grounding because your whole body is against the ground. So really you can just lay flat, and that's really good. But also, I like to build my nest. So I have a bolster pillow. If you don't have that, you can always like use a couch cushion or something like that, but you can just lay with your legs. I like to kind of lay with them in a diamond, and then I just lay back and just lay and just soak in the earth and let her support me, so I just feel totally grounded. So those are just a few tips. I hope that helps. I'll send you a recording of what is it? The Gayatri mantra, which is really pretty, and I can send you to like what a translation of it is. I'll send you the Bhakti style, which is like kind of musical. It's my teacher singing it. I wish I had your singing voice so I could sing these. You're gonna have to help me when I become an actual teacher. But I love you, and I hope you feel more centered and grounded. And that's just a run through, but if you want me to try and do more of an actual class, let me know. I'm learning, so this is helpful for me. Thanks for letting me do it, because I'm real nervous about teaching people. I start to forget my own name. So this helps. I love you. Goodbye.